We were walking in our neighborhood in Randolph Estates, and we kept seeing the Lightbox Homes sign in the yard. And we knew that these were houses that were being completely transformed, and they looked fantastic from the outside, and it seemed like they sold before they even went on the market. The first time we ever saw this house, we knew that we wanted to remove the wall between the kitchen area and the living room area. Fast forward 11 years, and we had finally gotten to a point where we were able to actually go ahead and do that and completely remodel the kitchen and the great room, but we were reluctant to do it because we'd had bad experiences with other contractors. And as we started to interview construction companies, freelancers, interior designers, nothing was really a good fit for us. So when I went on another walk and I saw the Lightbox sign again, I was like, I wonder if they would ever do a remodel with a client. All right.
We just felt like we had a bit of a connection and that we would actually kind of collaborate, even though we didn't necessarily know what we were doing, but we had some ideas.
And then the first few people who came in to talk to us said it was going to cost double, maybe even more than that. Nobody really wanted to talk to us about our kitchen remodel because they had other big ticket projects that they could work on, and so it was getting somebody who would consider our project a priority.
I think it was just getting those constant updates, like almost daily, like with all the contractors and everything going on, and we don't know about a lot of the kitchen stuff, so it's good to hear, like, okay, here's where we are, here's where we're ahead of schedule, here's where we're behind the schedule, here's what's happening next.
Yes, communication is huge, especially if you're going to be living in the space. I mean, I know what I like, but I don't have a big picture vision. And that's something that Lena does. Lena can look at the space and tell you what's possible, because she can imagine it and she knows the different steps to take to get it done and how long it's going to take and what's going to be involved. I mean, when we did have a surprise or we would encounter something and didn't know what to do or we had to pivot, she knows what to ask the contractors. The range is a perfect example. It was a huge example for us of like, how can we best utilize this space that we have? Because we had these two windows on the back wall that made things a little prohibitive. She came up with this wonderful idea to put the oven, the range, and the vent hood in the corner. And now every time somebody sees a picture of that, they are immediately drawn to that. They love that idea, and it's a great way to utilize the space. The biggest thing for me was that we were going to be living in the space while construction was going on.
Right.
And so she had to hear it from me over and over again. You know, it's not the most comfortable process to live through, but there was never a time where I wasn't sure what was going to be happening next. If there was going to be a delay for any reason, or if something different was going to happen, then I always knew. I never felt like that was like, okay, well, that's your problem. I always felt like she got it. She understood that it was an uncomfortable process for us, and she was going to try to make it as painless as possible. You always want it to be faster and less expensive than it is, but we had seen enough HGTV to know that it was probably going to take longer and be a little more expensive.
I mean, our stove had been broken for 6 months before this project even started, so that's totally outside. So we hadn't even had a stove in a while, and just having updated appliances and knowing that like this is going to be our kitchen for, who knows, 10, 20 years. So we want it to be as close to perfect as possible.
I mean, I think the thing that people need to understand is that this is a partnership between you and Lightbox Homes. It's not that you go in and you make a payment and everything's done for you. You have to have that back and forth collaboration with each other. You need to be prepared to make decisions on the fly. You need to have a plan B and C. And you need to be flexible because things can change very quickly. There were so many times where I would be in my home office working and then I would hear her voice because she had come in to check on something for the first, second, third time that day. And so that just was so important to me to know that she had her part taken care of. So it was my responsibility to make sure that I was responsive to her, that I was ordering things, that I was making decisions, that I was thinking about, okay, this is the next step. She was always like a week ahead thinking about these are the next steps.